Well, Steve, I can't tell you their value on the club and their value in the clubhouse and, what they do on the field, how they play the game, the way they go about things. And when it's crunch time and you can rely on those guys, it just takes a lot of pressure off those younger guys. There's not so much heat on them having to get the job done. And Michael's, I thought he swung the bat very well tonight. And if we can get him going, it just changes the whole middle of the lineup. Without Dan there and David, those guys, really Curtis sets the tone. And, we've got to get something out of 3, 4, 5.
When you go to Familia there in the ninth and don't really have the ability to double switch, do you think to yourself, we really have to win it right here?
Kind of thought that. It was really important. We won it right there. Yeah, he was only going to go one inning anyway. That's why we didn't worry about it too much. But, we got some real good reports on Milwaukee, and so hopefully that, we'll be able to at least have a little bit of movement tomorrow.
If you think back to the time in the winter and in the spring training when you guys were expressing a lot of optimism about the season, to what extent was the Kadire signing the cause for that? Was his arrival in particular one of the reasons why you guys were so?
It was, Andy. We talked a lot about it in the wintertime after we signed Michael of what an impactful signing that was. Not that he was going to hit 30 homers in this park, not that he was going to hit 330 in this park, but his presence in the lineup, his presence in the clubhouse, his relationship with David, to where he could kind of help David a little bit. David didn't have to take all the responsibility of some things. So we thought it was a big sign. And, he got off to a little bit of a slow start. He's the first to admit it. But he's also said, I'm going to get it going. And hopefully now's the time because we need it.
Travis, another really night where he looked good at the plate. Can you talk about the aspect where even in innings you don't score, his presence makes pitchers throw more pitches and really lengthens the lineup?
Well, he's going to be a good player, as we've seen, Rich. He's good. He's a good offensive player. He's pretty sore today. You probably won't see him tomorrow night, but because this is, I think, game 4 in a row for him after having a month off. So he's pretty sore, and so I just told him he'll give him a blow tomorrow. But his presence in the lineup changes the looks of things. It just spreads things out a little bit. And he's dangerous. He can get a hit. He can hit a double. He can hit a homer. And I thought, to be honest, for a guy who hasn't caught in a long time, I thought he's handled the ball behind the plate outstanding. He had 3 or 4 real big blocks today at the plate, or behind the plate. So, it's good to have him back.
Terry, when Kadire has a big game like this, specifically for him, is it a coincidence that those big hits went to right center field?
That's a good question. I don't know because I've only seen him this year, and I do know that when he uses the field, obviously you don't lead the league in hitting by being just a dead pull hitter. So I think by the fact that he's getting some balls away instead of trying to pull them going the other way, a la Buster Posey, I think you're going to see him get more hits.
Terry, you were saying you got real good reports on Milwaukee. What do they say, and what's the
He's
plan?
just got a real clogged sinus. Obviously, it's an issue, but now we know what's caused the dizziness, and it's after flying. The pressure of flying has caused him to have the headaches and the dizziness. So once we get that cleaned up, which they think they can, he'll be a lot better.
It seemed like every bit of good news today was kind of canceled out by some bad news, and the way the team lost the past 2 games. How big is this win just for morale for you, for the club?
It's huge, morale-wise, for us. We had the MLB guys come in, and I think a lot of John Smoltz walked in. He said, "How you doing?" I said, "Well, we just got no hit, and my star pitcher just got his brains beat out." So my best 2 hitters are on the DL, and we got 14 others to join him. So how do you think I'm doing? So, yeah, today was a big win for us.
Parnell was up in the pen when the spot didn't come up for Nice to pinch hit in the bottom of the 7th. Was he done for the night after warming up?
No. Had the game, when I just said if we're tied, it's Goodell. If we're still down the run, it was going to be Bobby. So when we tied it, Goodell was in the game, but Bobby was coming in. And we'll certainly hopefully get a chance to get him in tomorrow night.
Nice is obviously very close to having a pretty good outing. What did you see from him, and did he make the adjustments that you wanted to see?
I thought he pitched a very good game against a very good lineup. I mean, outside, after the first inning, and once again, we had a tough time keeping Aoki off the bases, but the ball took a terrible bounce on Eric at third base. They ended up scoring 2, and he kept it right there. Then we make another error, and that's where we got it. That's where John's got to. Hey, look, I got to get this. This next guy's mine. I might not be out here next inning, but this guy's mine. And he just left the pitch out up over the plate and for the home run. So I thought he pitched a good game tonight. I was very happy.
I think I saw a stat that said teams committed 13 errors behind these. It's second in the majors with any pitcher. So how does he get that out of his head when he's on the mound?
Number one, as I've said before many times, in our game, we talk about the team being together, backing each other up, picking each other up. And as I've said, every so often you really like to, when an error's made behind you, have that pitcher, get the next guy out. It really picks up the life on the infield, and vice versa. You hang something and you hang a slider, and the guy makes a great play. He picks you up. So that's something we've got to. We certainly got to get going because we've made some costly mistakes defensively, which have hurt us. So we've just got to pick it up a little bit and bear down in some situations.